stop. Slow motion. I wanna see.
This morning, authorities still trying to find answers more than a week now since Nancy Guthrie was reported missing from her Tucson home.
Two crazy things, right? Number one, that this happened like an hour and a half away from my house. Like, that's why I'm really interested in this story, even though I don't usually cover like true crime kind of stuff. Number two, the fact that it's like such a movie style setup, like they're straight up like, yo, we're gonna send letters with like magazine clippings, and then we're gonna tell the Today News anchor that she has to put money in our Bitcoin account or else, you know. I mean, and it's not looking too good. Like, she's 80 years old, like she has health complications, and a week of being missing. It's like, how do you hold someone like this captive for a whole week? I don't know.
Over the weekend, the FBI and sheriff's deputies again extensively searching Nancy's property. Yesterday, examining what appears to be a septic tank in her backyard. And earlier on the weekend, towing a car out of her garage, believed to be Nancy's. Authorities also searching the home of her daughter, Annie.
I mean, I'm glad that they're doing all this stuff, but I doubt any of it's going to yield any kind of result, because it's like, it seems like they just broke in, took her, left. Like, I doubt they were messing with her car. Like, they didn't even care about her earthly possessions. They just wanted her. They wanted what she was worth, you know, as a living, breathing human being.
Person saying that was part of the normal course of their case. As investigators continue to search, on Saturday, Savannah posted a new video along with her siblings with this message for their mom's possible captors.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we.
It's so unsettling seeing this woman like so stripped of her power, right? Because she is a highly successful person, you know, nationally known, you know. She's probably like the shining light of her family for speaking to the camera about, you know, things that are happening in the news and shit. But now here she is, like, you know, like naked almost, and she has to lead her family in this effort to like get her mom back, and it's probably partially her fault. I mean, not her fault in the sense of like she made this happen, but like her fame and influence is probably what made her a target, right? Because she's the one with the money. I don't know if there's other people in her family with money, probably, but you know, like she very much like is the mascot of this shit that's going down right now, bro. That shit sucks. You know, and it's so surreal that this is like a broadcast from the Today Show. You know, like, this is why Savannah's not at work. Like, god damn.
Celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
3 officials tell NBC News this video is.
Yo, they must be at the end of their rope if they're willing to pay, because reports are saying that this shit is for millions of dollars. I mean, of course it's for millions of dollars. You know, I've heard reports that she was worth 40 million, right? So of course this shit is for millions of dollars. Also too, the family probably knows that it's probably a really low likelihood that their mom is alive. I mean, I really hate to say that, but like, it's true. Like, she has medications. Do you think they let her take the medications before they made her fucking leave her crib? Of course not, yo. I've also seen speculations that the Guthries know that she's not alive, but they're willing to pay some kind of ransom just to receive her remains. I guess if I was rich and someone kidnapped my mom, God forbid, I don't know if I'd pay for the remains personally. Like, fuck that, bro. Like, I'm not giving you a red cent. What the hell? Especially if they can't even find you. Especially if there's no way I'm going to get my bread back, you know? I'm not going to enrich my mom's captors. Fuck that. So I think that they think that she's still alive, for sure.
Response to a new note that was sent.
I hope she is alive. You know, there's a solid chance. I mean, a week, you know, I'm sure she could live for a week, right? Like, you know, but as time ticks on, it's becoming less likely.
Friday to a local Tucson TV station. The station saying the message did not include proof of life.
Damn, son. They're willing to pay and there's no proof of life. Damn, yo, they must be desperate. That sucks.
ABC News has not seen the new note, and authorities are still trying to verify if it was actually sent by whoever sent an original ransom note last week to the same TV station and other news outlets. It's also still unclear if either note was actually sent by the people behind Nancy's disappearance.
Man, I mean, also too, this is such a nationally known story now that it's like pretty much any crash out would be like, yeah, yeah, Savannah Guthrie, I got your mom. Like, fucking send me $1 bajillion or else. And like, just because they have like no leads that they're willing to share, like I have to assume that they have to take all these shit seriously, which is probably exhausting for them. I mean, she's probably, the whole family is probably just looking at the tip line, like, oh, maybe that's it, maybe that's it. Like, they're probably getting all conspiratorial and shit. Like, oh, I think, it's probably a dark situation for this family, bro. No way it's not.
County Sheriff's Office saying there's still no suspect or person of interest in the case. On Sunday, at the church where Nancy worships,
we pray for Nancy's rescue and her release.
the pastor delivering this prayer for her safe return.
And Lord, may she sense deep in her soul our prayers and our love right now, and prayers from this nation and all around the world.
I mean, by all accounts, she seems like a perfectly fine old lady, Now, I think Savannah Guthrie is like aligned with the Trump administration, but we won't put that on her mom. We won't put that on her mom.
As the search continues, investigators are continuing to pour through all of the traffic camera footage in the area. They're looking at surveillance footage from local businesses. A spokesperson for Circle K says that law enforcement showed up at one of their gas stations because of a tip about a possible vehicle of interest there. But at this time, there is still no confirmed vehicle of interest. And as you guys know, no suspect now 9 days into this search. Craig.
All right, Liz Court.
No suspect 9 days into the search. God damn. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have no leads per se. It more means that like they don't want to share it. That's also a potential case, because if they share what they know, then number one, the perpetrators might find out and then like cover their tracks better. Or number two, they could even just make the situation hotter, because it's like, okay, they're on our case. We got this old lady. Let's dispatch this old lady and then try to get away, right? So, it wouldn't surprise me if the law enforcement is manipulating the media to try to draw out the perpetrators.
Of course, they're starting us off from Tucson. Liz, thank you. Also, following the investigation for us, NBC's national law enforcement intelligence correspondent Tom Winter. Tom, we'll get to the vehicle that Liz mentioned in just a moment. Let's start with that video that Savannah posted over the weekend. Third video, heart-wrenching. What can we glean from that?
Yo, this guy has some really hydrated lips.
The video, in terms of where the investigation is.
Sure. I think it's important to note what that video doesn't say as much as what it does say. And that video doesn't talk about any sort of deadline today. I know people are focusing on a potential deadline this afternoon, 5 o'clock this afternoon. What's going to come of that? Because that was referenced in the first note. There's no longer any discussion of that. There's a discussion about bring Nancy home to us so we can have a celebration with her. There is.
Yeah, like that. Oh, bring her home to us so we can have a celebration. It almost sounded like coded language, but I mean, I guess I would celebrate too. Man, just very unsettling. Also, I think a lot about this brother right here, where it's like, as the brother, as the man, like he's probably like, okay, like I'm the patriarch of our little family unit, but what can he do? What can he do? Just hold his sister's hand? Like, god damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck. If I was him, I'd be like, yo, I'm trying to do some taking shit, but I got no leads. You got to be fucking Batman to figure out this shit, bro.
No further requests for proof of life. So when you look at this video, you say, what was in that second note? I have not personally seen it, but it does appear that there's been a shift here, or at least a shift in messaging. So we note that. And then, as Liz said in her piece, and really this is the big challenge, we cannot stress this enough, the FBI has not come out, the sheriff has not come out, and said that they have tied back this second note from the alleged kidnappers, perhaps, to the first note, or back to this taking of Nancy Guthrie out of her home against her will at all. So that's still part of the investigation. We are told they use very sophisticated means to be able to kind of hide who originally sent this email or this message. It's very difficult.
So with all this going on, we saw investigators at Nancy's house, at her daughter Annie's house. What are they looking for, do you think?
So our understanding of the investigation at this point is this is just a check under every single carpet, behind every single bush. And
again, like I'm not an investigator, a detective, law enforcement, whatever, but I would say that's probably a bad sign because it's like if they're seizing more shit, that means that they're trying to cast a wider net, which means that they're not honing in on anyone specific, right? Like there's not going to be any evidence on her fucking car. Like, I mean, maybe there is. I don't know. Let me not armchair detective this shit, but it just doesn't seem very likely to me, you know? I think there's still a solid chance that Nancy Guthrie is still alive. I think even an old lady with heart complications can make it 9 days. Especially maybe they let her take her medication, bro. Who knows, son? Um, I just hope she's not like in a ditch somewhere. I feel like that would just be so tragic. I hope at least like even if she is just remains at this point, that they can get her back in some kind of dignified fashion.
Every single thing that you can, conduct additional searches. They take photography. Based on my experience in the past with these investigations, they'll fly over a residence. They'll say, "Hey, did we look behind this, or maybe we should seize that and just double check for any sort of fingerprints and bring it back to our labs and see if there's a chance we can go deeper on it." So that appears to be part of the work. Now, the search at Annie Guthrie's home was a consent search. That was not something where somebody went to a judge. There was some sort of a suggestion of a possible crime, and they needed to go forward with that. I think that's important to remember because, again, they've said, look, there's no suspects that have been identified, no persons of interest identified, but the last people to see Nancy Guthrie were Annie and her husband. They were the ones that dropped her off, and so I think there's a focus there of, like, let's just start at the very beginning and see if there's anything here that we can derive from it. Same thing with taking Nancy Guthrie's car out of the house on Friday night.
Let's go back to what Liz mentioned here, this vehicle of interest. They go to this gas station nearby to ask about something. Maybe they saw on a surveillance camera there. What does that tell you?
So what law enforcement is trying to do right now is look for any single clue because this investigation has gotten very challenging. There is not a lot of clues that are being derived from the evidence. There doesn't appear to be a heck of a lot of evidence either. And so that's really a challenge at this stage of the investigation. So,
look, I do not envy whoever has to crack this one. I'll leave it at that.
Now stop. Slow motion. I want to see. stop. Slow motion. I wanna see.